from the woods of Maine. I'm deep, deep within the forest of Maine, spending some time with my honey on this long weekend. And I still thought I'd come at you with a draw stream. So just because I am not in my normal environment, this is gonna be a weird one because this could stop at any time. I am supposed to go out shooting, bang bang pew pew, with the owner of the cabin that we're staying at. They happen to be friends of ours, and I said, hey, I'd like to go out shooting, and just kind of waiting around for that to happen. So I thought I'd start the draw stream because I don't know what time we're going to come back. And during the nighttime, the lighting in this cabin is very bad. And so I thought during this afternoon, I'd spend the time and we are going to draw Batman. I have a sketch cover from one of those classic reprints. So we're just going to dive in. We're going to dive in, guys. And whoever can find me, finds me. And we're going to turn it around and start this baby off. All right. So as we do, start off with what I've kind of been doing. I've been working on these Bible illustrations for a church that reached out to me a while ago. This, I don't know how obvious it is, but Adam and Eve. You got Cain and Abel. We got Cain just killed Abel, very distraught about it. We got giants and Nephilim kind of people, kind of bullying the normal sized people. Then, of course, we jump over to Noah's Ark, and yes, this is similar to the door from the Ark encounter, but that is what they asked me to do, and so that is what I did. And then, of course, you get the Ark on the stormy seas of the flood, and then after Noah gets on dry land, he builds an altar, sacrifices, but then he gets drunk, gets laughed at by his son Ham, and so Shem and Japheth cover him up with a blanket. Then we get into Nimrod and his rule over Babylon, and so the next illustration is going to be the ziggurat. But with buildings, there's a lot of rulers that they get used, so it takes a long time. But here we are. Don't you fret, because this is going to be a weird one. We're going to do a Batman inspired by my one of my favorite artists, Joe Madureira. I'm going to kind of homage this cover of Inhuman. I don't know why it's singular because I thought it was the Inhumans that they are called. But whatever it is, this comic is called Inhuman, and I am going to. So this is not my normal setup. I usually have a desk that I sit behind, and the lighting is much better. All the things work out pretty cool. So, but here I am in the mountains of Maine. So I want to look over here to kind of see what I need to be drawing to kind of make it look similar to the Joe Madureira Inhuman #2 cover. Let me see here. What's going on, SM93? How you doing? Higher Vossum. Thank you guys for hanging out. So when I go and look for a pose that inspires me, I typically go to my favorite artist, Joe Madureira. So it's not unusual for me to be looking at his stuff and saying, what makes his drawing so darn cool? And try to bring that energy to a different character, and then just kind of sprinkle my style in there also. My style is just kind of a mishmash of Joe Madureira, Jim Lee, and whoever else that I'm currently enjoying their artwork. So I listen to guys like Rob Liefeld from his podcast, Robservations, and it really kind of gives me the freedom to say, you know what, we all have our influences, and the sooner we embrace it, the sooner we get to our own style. Like we let our favorite artists influence us, and then we grow from there. We learn their secrets, and then we just bring you guys, comic book fans, some good art. And really, that's all we're looking for, right? Brother Benny is in the house. I can't stay long, working on barn chores. I'll check in later. I've been praying for you and the wife for your trip. Enjoy. Thank you, Brother Benny. I appreciate it. Ben is my name. I subscribe. Thank you, Ben is my name. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yeah, so this channel is a lot about drawing, but like while I'm drawing, I talk to you a little bit about creating independent comics. I am the creator of Alpha Red, which is a faith-based comic. So I am open to discussing things of faith and things of politics. I'm not afraid to talk about that. I know that maybe I lose some subscribers and whatnot, but I think we should be able to dialogue about it, even if we don't necessarily agree with one another, right? I don't hate you. You shouldn't hate me. I'm not trying to kill anybody. I don't hate anybody because of my politics or because of my faith. We have to live together, and we might as well understand each other. And maybe we can be persuaded by one another to think outside the box about our enemies or our perceived enemies and people who don't agree with us as much as we would want or think we want people to agree with us. All right. What do you think so far as trying to get the energy of this? Then as my name says, what ink or paint is that? So right now, this is just the pencil. This is just the pencil. This is an issue of, what do they call these? They kind of have a weird name for these reprints. Facsimiles is what they're called. And it's just a yellow tinted facsimile sketch cover of the classic Batman #1. So it says up here, spring issue. So it's if you are interested in this, in buying this reprints like everything about how it was printed originally. So it's a neat rewind or throwback to how comics were drawn back then and what our original artists, how they depicted the original Batman, and how we get to see it evolve. So I will be using just your average #2 pencil, and then I am going to ink it with this here. My name is Ben. Ben is my name. This is the what is it? Pilot Precise V5 rolling ball pen. That is one that I have rediscovered way back when I was a young lad. I used that for my inking tool. And then, you read a lot about what your favorite artists are using. And a lot of them use microns, a lot of them. So that was the most popular mechanical pen that my favorite artist used. So what I ended up doing was switching over, when I could afford it. As soon as I could afford it, or if I was asking for a gift for the holidays, I would ask for micron pens, and I slowly switched over to the micron pen. Well, what eventually started happening is I would run out of the Micron ink, and there were frustrations also with the Micron ink. Like when I go to erase, I use a kneaded eraser. Like this is my kneaded eraser here, and when I take the kneaded eraser to erase away the pencil line, it would take away some of the darkness of the ink, and so I felt like I was inking it more than once to keep the contrast. So in my bag of tricks, I ran across some old precise rolling ball V5 and V7 sized pens that I used to use, and lo and behold, I was very happy with how much ink came pouring out of the um, the pens. Now the downside is that the the ink kind of just sits on the paper for a while because it's so dark. It takes a while for the ink to kind of soak in. And so what happens then is when I use my hand if I'm inking over here and I've already inked over here, the ink will get onto the bottom of my hand, and then it slowly starts stamping little blotches of color all over the picture. So you have to use another sheet of paper. Just a blank sheet of paper will do. Any blank sheet of paper, I'll just keep here. And then what that does is it absorbs the ink that has not been sucked into the paper, and that allows me to use my favorite inking pen once more. So thank you for asking. Higher Fossum says, "Oh, cool. Is it pro-religion, hero, or anti-hero?" It is pro-religion. So Alpha Red is a mixture of, like, personality-wise, he's like Peter Parker, and his skill set is like Captain America. So I say he is Peter Parker as Captain America on a James Bond adventure, is how I describe it at conventions to kind of bring people over to the table. And then I lay down, the hook of the story is that he's your friendly neighborhood handyman who's chosen for an experiment that puts a chip into his brain that makes him super strong, super fast, and strong, fast, and smart. And he has to figure out who the devil is and stop him from taking over the world. And the devil, no, he has to stop a transforming robot tank piloted by Satan. That's my pitch. And so that's when people will start asking, is it a faith-based comic? And I will say, yes, it is a faith-based comic. And it's not just the hero's journey, but the hero goes through a faith journey also, because he is not a believer in the beginning. But he eventually finds out that he has to become a believer to really activate his suit, and the suit helps him save the day. So, of course, he becomes a believer, and then he has to test his faith, and then once he gets true faith, he is able to unlock the suit and save the world from the devil. Good pose so far. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is, I don't know if, hopefully you were here when I first jumped on. That is the pose I'm using. I just use inspiration from my favorite artists. And sometimes it's Jim Lee. A lot of times it's Joe Madureira. Jim Lee has a special place in my heart because he was the first artist that I wanted to draw like. I discovered Todd McFarlane, and his artwork got me to want to collect comics. But I found out pretty quickly that I couldn't really draw like Todd McFarlane. But then while I was waiting for Spider-Man comics to arrive at my local drugstore, I discovered X-Men drawn by Jim Lee. And Jim Lee's artwork is like, I don't know, it's so inspiring. It was so inspiring to me that it didn't matter that I couldn't really draw like Jim Lee, as good as Jim Lee, but it didn't stop me from trying. Whereas with Todd McFarlane, his artwork, his anatomy, it was so unique to his style that I could not imitate it. But with Jim Lee, I was able to imitate enough of his artwork that I felt like I wanted to collect more and more of it so that I could figure out all of his style. And so I could also create my most favorite pictures. So that is why I do what I do. All right, I think we're close enough to all the lines I need that I can start inking. What do you guys think? Are you ready for the magic to start? This is a one-handed thing, so good post so far. That's cool. Thank you. I assume you're talking about the storyline to Alpha Red. So whenever I start any picture, after I get the main composition down, I do the eyes, because if you don't get the eyes right, I feel like you can easily lose the whole picture. So I want to take some time to do the eyes, and typically I'm at my drawing table and it's much more, my hand is steadier. I have a what do you call it? Something that holds the camera for me, while I use two hands, and I am able to brace the picture a little bit as I put these lines in a little bit more. So it is that's coming along pretty good. I like how that is starting out. So, and I feel okay doing it this way, where it feels a little bit sketchier because it is a sketch cover, and Brother Benny is usually the purchaser of many of my sketch covers, and so he is very gracious of the lack of polish on these sketch covers. So I appreciate that he still picks them up. That's cool. Oh, eyes first. Yes. So brave. That is last for me. Yeah, you nailed it. Thank you. Yeah. So, I want to put in all these little things. Like the face is one of the most important things in a comic drawing, because everybody looks at everybody's face, right? So if you don't draw the face well, that really kind of turns people off to all the other parts of the picture. They will have grace for bad anatomy elsewhere, except for maybe the hands also. I know AI has problems with the hands, and that's generally because most artists have problems drawing the hands. So if you can master the hands and the face, you can get pretty far in comics, even if you don't know your anatomy. And male anatomy, male faces and male hands, well, the hands, you can probably get away with masculine looking hands on a female, but you have to get the female form. The female face and the female form is very specific, and if you master those, boy, you look at J. Scott Campbell. He has made a lot of money just being able to draw the female form. I am, I do pull out J. Scott Campbell images when I am working on female characters, just because I know how impactful J. Scott Campbell's females are. So, you just kind of study the masters. Study the masters. That's why I have this. Yeah, I have this over there to kind of collect the ink. Collect the ink. So that I'm not smearing it and it's not getting on my hand and I'm not stamping it all over the place. So just as a warning, if I abruptly end the live stream, it's because the owner of the camp where I'm at has promised to take me out to shoot some guns. I am away on vacation, so this is not my typical place that I would draw. So hopefully, if you're enjoying this, you'll subscribe. You hit that like button, you'll subscribe, and then you can check out some of my older videos where you can see my normal setup. I usually have an intro for my videos, which I do not have for these live streams that are a little bit more random. Like I said, I don't know if I will have time tonight to do the typical Sunday night draw stream. Usually I do it at 8 p.m. Eastern. But because the lighting has been pretty bad here in the cabin, here in the woods of Maine, I want to make sure that I get a draw stream done while there is still light outside. So I love how Joe Madureira does like these really strong, bold shadows. So when I go to do it, I force myself to use those really dark shadows by cutting in with these lines, so that I am forced to do it. Forced to add them in. So I'm kind of scribbling right here. Like I'll likely spend a little bit more time when I have two hands and I can hold this down and I'm not holding on to the camera phone. So yeah, that is, right now, it just feels good to be able to get like the gestures and the composition that I am looking to create. And then when I have the time to use two hands, probably tonight, I'll probably finish up a more polished looking picture with the camera off and I have two hands on the page. So I am just an honest warning. And maybe if I didn't have this other piece of paper that I have to kind of throw over top and make sure that it doesn't bleed all over, the ink doesn't bleed all over the page, I would be more apt to do a more finished line for a lot of this. But I am just happy to do the gestures and put the placeholders in for a lot of this as I work through it, and then I'm waiting for the cabin owner to come knocking at the door or just walking in and saying, "Hey, are you ready to go shoot some guns?" And I will bid you adieu if that happens. Well, thank you, Higher Fossum. Hope I'm saying that right. I don't have my glasses on. I don't normally wear glasses, but I'm getting old, and my eyes are getting tired or something. I can't focus as well. I never thought that it would happen to me because I've always had very good eyesight. And so in the past, I don't know, 7 or 8 months, I'm feeling like I can't focus as well. Actually, it's probably been a year because I did go out and get some glasses in the spring, I want to say. Went out and got some glasses so that my wife would stop telling me to go get glasses. I ended up complaining a lot about not being able to see. And she's like, just go get some glasses. But I didn't want to. But she wasn't putting up with my complaining while I still didn't have my glasses. Now I have my glasses, and when I complain about not being able to see, she says, "Where are your glasses?" And we're on vacation, and I did not think to bring them. Even though I need them to drive, I did not bother bringing them. And so there's more fights to be had, until I get the hang of bringing my glasses, wearing my glasses, all the things with the glasses, all the things. Hey, what's going on, Brother Reverend Saber, Brother Rod? I got all tongue-tied. Brother Reverend Saber in the house. How are things on this wonderful Sunday? I have to do this early because I do not know if I will have enough light to do it here at the cabin. My wife and I are away for a long weekend, and we are in a cabin in Maine, deep in the woods. And so while I have light, even though it doesn't look like I have a whole lot of light, this is much more light than I will have tonight. I mean, there is light, but it's just not. It's kind of this is a rugged cabin, and so the lights are kind of more dim. They're the bright lights that are available are like LED, and they're so bright. So it's either I use the dim lights or the lights that are so bright that might wash out the image that you might not be able to see it. So I just went ahead and started this live stream here in the afternoon while my wife is out taking a walk. So, and I'll come back and fill in all these details here. I just need to get the lines down for now. Then I'll come back in with some thicker lines. This is the V5. The V7 is a slightly thicker line, and it'll drop some better inks. And so you'll see that coming here shortly, unless the cabin owner comes in a knocking. Yeah, I didn't want to miss a Sunday. Okay, I'm getting a text message that says that he is ready for some shooting. So I'm going to finish up this arm here, and then I'll have to bid you guys adieu, and maybe I'll try it a little later on tonight to finish up this drawing if the light is going to be good for live streaming. If it's good for the live streaming. Have fun. Yes, I will try to shoot on target. It's been a while since I've shot. I have some guns, but I have not had the time to go and shoot. So I even bought a rifle. I tried to put it together, and the scope was kind of weird. It wouldn't allow me to do my bolt action on it, and so took it back, got a new scope, and just never put it on. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna have to call this part of it, part one, done for now. I want to thank you guys for popping in here and hanging out with me for the last couple half hour or so. I appreciate you guys. And maybe tonight I'll come back and finish up the drawing. So don't go too far. If you want to catch me again, hit that subscribe button and don't leave me hanging. All right. Until then, grace, peace. We out. Yes.